Jersey Schmedian podcast back in business. We are we've been debating on what episode number this is. Is it 8? Is it 7? Is it 9?
42.
Nobody knows.
It's 8. I'm pretty sure.
42 or
Is
8.
it 8? I see you labeled it 8, so we're gonna go with 8. This is episode 8, so we're gonna stick to that.
So
So-
I have actually a conundrum, and I need to even put this on the topics, but I've had a few people ask me for the podcast link, and I haven't given it to them out of embarrassment.
That's fucked. Way to support.
Wait.
Way to support us.
Is it like your coworker?
One of them is my coworker. Where I'm like, it's work.
Oh, the is this the spreadsheet guy?
No, God, no. No, I would never.
I'm about to say you actively talk shit about that guy. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
the worst guy to
no.
give it to. Don't give it to him.
I would never. I'm hearing.
I just shared a link to my
Okay.
girl. She
Oh, okay.
but I don't think she's gonna be able to watch. She's busy at work.
Yeah.
And one of my coworkers. I just shared it with one of my coworkers right now.
And my family actually, I said like, oh, me and my friends are doing a stupid pod, like every group of white guys does, and my cousin was like, oh, send me the link, and I was like, no.
Bunch of fucking boomers or some shit. Like, nah, you don't want to see what we have to say. We're
No,
a bunch of
my age, same age as me, but I'm just like, it's like, don't want them to see this side of me. I don't know. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm that different.
I think as long as you stay away from politics, it's okay.
But we always talk about politics in my family.
No, I mean on the podcast. I think if you try to remain neutral on the podcast, I think for the most part you're pretty tame. Except when you're drinking, then things kind of go off the rails a little bit.
That's more what I'm worried about is like that kind of politics, whatever. They know I'm crazy.
Like,
we have family group chats. It's always off the wall. Sure. Today, my sister thinks I'm. She's like doom and gloom Miguel again. And I'm like,
the end of the world. The end of the world. I don't even know where to start. Like, so much shit's happened this week. I mean, we had celebrities passing away. We got shit going on in Washington, the White House, and we got new game announcements. We got new video card announcements. We got some weird shit going on in your hot tub last weekend. Like, there's so much shit on this list. I don't even know what.
I mean,
like Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog passed away. Like, what the fuck happened this week? Seriously, what was going on?
Let's start from the top. Michelle Trachtenberg. I hope I'm not butchering her name. Rest in peace.
Trachtenberg, yeah.
Rest in peace or whatever. So there's controversy, but there's really not controversy, right? I think she just had a liver transplant.
Yep.
She was having issues with her liver, right? So like,
yeah, she was definitely sick.
She was definitely sick. I mean, it was not well known, and other than the operation, so like,
I mean, I
they said she
followed
died
her
of natural
on
causes.
Instagram. She hasn't looked good. I mean, she just doesn't. She looked like she was sick, or she was trying to struggle with something. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very unfortunate, sad story. But people are making a big deal of it, like out of nowhere. Like she wasn't murdered. It more than likely wasn't drug
she's
use.
young.
She was 39.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I think that's the part.
I get that, but like, there's also like the 27 Club, right? Like, all those people died young too.
But usually of overdoses.
Yeah, that's true.
Or suicide. But actually the biggest surprise for me in this story was when Lewis said he follows her on Instagram, and I was like, that's so fucking random. Why were you following her on Instagram?
I don't know. I followed her like a couple of years ago. I forget why. I think there was a post or some announcement like after she had a hiatus from like doing any movies or anything. She all of a sudden she did a project, and then I started following her, and then I just see her post every so often on there. And she was posting selfies, and you could just see it in her face, like it just it's like it lacked color. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
usually
she just didn't look healthy. There was something going on there.
I mean, clearly she wasn't. And
yeah, I mean, a liver transplant. Obviously it's a big deal. So obviously something was going on. I don't know if it was cancer, or if there was a liver failure, or maybe it was some other organs that failed. I don't know. The family did decline to do an autopsy, which we understand why they don't. They don't
also because they know why, right? Like they knew she was sick, they knew she was suffering, and everything like that, right? So it's not, once again, it's not a mystery.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
now
they just didn't
what's
want it on their death certificate and people talking about it. I think that's why.
Why? That's what I
um,
figured. I don't know.
I'll watch
what's
the
a
Europe
little
trip
bit
this weekend.
yeah, what's a little bit more interesting, I mean, is the Gene Hackman. Not so much. I mean, he was 95, so it's not so much that he died, but it's him, his wife, and the
Yeah,
dog died,
that's
and
wild.
then everybody jumps to the conclusion, oh, carbon monoxide and things like that,
Yeah.
like
They
the
were all in
silent.
different rooms though. It was
They're all
just
well, no, it could poison the entire house.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
just
But they
weird though.
said that
Like
that test came back negative. Now
yeah,
that just drew up a whole lot of more of okay, then what the heck was it? Right?
that.
Was it?
How old was she? Did they ever say how old his wife
I think
was?
she's in her 40s or 50s.
So she's young.
I
I
thought she
mean,
was. I thought she was in her 60s.
Or that. I don't
uh,
know.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
not sure if
I
they
still
asked.
can't believe he was 95. I'm like, damn, he was that old.
yeah.
But
You
I
could
forgot
barely,
he's
you
been out of
can't
the
even
spotlight.
recognize him. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't even
he hasn't been
recognize
in
him.
movies for like what, 15 years or
Yeah.
so.
But he's been old since we were born. I
He-
feel like
he-
Yeah,
he
but
never
he
looked
always
young
had-
in the movies.
He was old when he started acting.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he always had like every time you saw a picture, you saw him in a movie or something. He always had the same face. But
Yeah, he
like
did.
Yeah.
the recent photos that were not circulating at all, you're like, wow, he's 95. Holy shit!
Exactly. And
I
he
can't
looked
believe he's that old already.
every day old. He would look 95.
He didn't look like Gene Hackman anymore. But
So-
look, it's sad. Well, the guy left behind a big legacy. He was James Bond at one point,
He
and
was.
Gene Hackman was not James
He was
Bond.
not James Bond.
Missy wasn't he?
No, he was. He was
No,
Lex
he wasn't.
Luthor.
Lex
He was Lex
Luthor.
Luthor.
Yeah.
Not James,
James
Bond.
Bond.
You
I
think
think he
he's
was-
Sean Connery?
Oh, I'm thinking of Sean Connery. That's I'm like, wait, he didn't have any
What?
hair back then either, right? He was bald back then. Like, fuck, you're right. That's the wrong one.
Yeah. Gene Hackman was like Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State,
Yeah.
Royal Tenenbaums is where I freaking
Yeah.
loved him in.
Yeah.
He was so good in Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, damn, fuck me.
Yeah, Lex Luthor, of course. I was like,
Where the fuck did I get James
Oh,
Bond?
I have no idea where you got.
Maybe
James
I
Bond
should
from.
start drinking. I'm not drinking. That's the problem.
He just lumped all the old actors all together,
he
combined all
was
the
so
roles.
good in The Rock, you know?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Rock.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Oh.
so like it's weird, like weird circumstances, but ultimately, like they're all freaking old. Like maybe the dog was old. Maybe the dog was like 17. It just just one day the guy is like I'm taking all three of you all at the same time. That's it. Come
But
on.
for all three of them to keel
Well-
over at the same time, like, come on,
well,
something's
did
up.
they all die the same day, or were they just, the bodies were all
Well,
found the same day?
They're
We don't know that, right?
guesstimating like 10 days. I think they said around 10 days is how long it's been. But
Mm.
it's not like one passed away and then the other one to go get help and then they passed away and then the dog, oh shit, you fell, and then he like, well, come on, what happened?
Well,
there?
maybe-
Well, okay,
well,
so let's
maybe-
think about this. How long does it take for a dog to starve to death?
Well, so think about this, though. They said they found pills on the counter.
There's another dog
Right.
in the house alive, by the way.
Well, they said the front door was open and that there were dogs running around or something.
There was one dog that they found outside, one dog
Yeah.
alive inside, and one dead dog that was inside. So
I bet, so this is my theory. She, for some reason, passed away and was his caretaker. So he can't take care of himself, couldn't get to a phone, maybe he was bedridden, so he dies. The dog finds the pills, eats the pills, and dies from pill overdose.
this is like Clue or
That's my guess.
Knives
Yeah,
Out or
that's
something.
that's a very reasonable assumption. Like,
Some people are saying like suicide pact, but I don't know about that.
At 95, like
or it could be just like
I don't know.
She got a lot
one
of, a lot of
passed
time
away, the other
lapse.
one like I got nothing to live for, and because we've seen. I mean that's like
Yeah.
a known anomaly, right? Where senior citizen couples, right? One passes away, and like the other one loses the will to live. Not necessarily suicide or anything like that, and
Yeah.
they also succumb. So like it could
But
have been
she
something
was
like that
younger.
also.
But she was much younger, so unless she died first, I don't see that. Like,
Right.
Well, I mean that's still under investigation. I think that's going to be a follow up for next week's podcast to see what exactly is going on there.
well, because I think they are going to investigate that one, so maybe we'll.
It just seems suspect. It's just
Yep.
a little weird.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Yoel's washer gate's finally concluded, but he's not here to talk about it.
All right. So
I don't think
Yoel,
it's well,
where are you?
well, we never heard if he actually successfully installed it. Which how you can
That
get
is
a washer
true.
replacement and delivery? They don't take away the old
No,
washer.
I thought he
which-
said was using it. That he just needed a stand for it.
Oh, did he say he already used it? I just remember he
I
was.
thought
he
so.
was
He
working on
said
hooking it
this.
up.
I remember him saying something like this one's not bad or whatever, but he needed
He didn't hook it up though.
extra thing.
His father did.
Oh, of course. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, "Oh my father's coming over."
And he said the old lines
Oh.
connected to it, right?
That's
He
why I
used-
always laugh. Says, "Oh, it's easy to do it," and it's like, but you're not actually doing it. Your father's doing it. So what do you know?
Just like give the guys $20, let him hook it up. Like, what's the big
I
deal?
would have. When you said they give him like $5 tips each, I'm like, man, I really do tip a lot because I've never given a $5 tip.
Dude,
to,
when the
like,
guys
delivery
delivered my
shit.
washer and dryer like 22 years ago, I gave him 20. I mean,
Yeah, I
or-
give like 20 ahead when people come to deliver shit for me.
When
and that
I
was
used to-
each. That was each.
When
Yeah.
I used to deliver,
That's a long time. That's a lot.
But they hooked it up. They hooked it up for me.
Yeah, for me too.
yeah, when I used to deliver, like monthly supplies or 6 month supplies of meats and stuff like that, they would sell freezers also. So I remember I would have to install the freezers for them, which is literally put it where it is and plug it in.
Yeah.
Right, that's the install of the fucking freezer.
Wait, was there an ice maker?
No ice maker.
Yeah, that's a little
Probably
bit
like a
complicated.
chest freezer from for the basement.
Oh.
It was a standing chest freezer.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of them were standing.
Inefficient.
And yeah, I would get I would get the UO $5 tips. Mostly got like $10, $20 tips. One guy in a very rich area gave me a $50 tip. And I think that was the highest tip I got, was a $50 tip.
Pretty good.
He
I
understood.
feel like Joel
he
in general
recognized.
feels like a cheap tipper.
He recognized Rusty. That's why he got a big tip.
He did, that was before the Rusty times, but yeah. That was an okay job because like first of all, like anytime you see like those subscription things, like order, like we source our cows like all grass fed out in no, they all get their meat from the same fucking place. It's all freaking the meat district in New York City. They all
Wait,
like
what company was it? Did you work for?
this was IPEC Foods, IPEC.
But that doesn't even sound like an independent.
IPEC.
No, it was this guy, his family, he was a freaking I don't know what nationality he was, but he made his family made their money through gold, which is IPEC. It's International Petroleum or whatever. So he had oil money.
You
So I
mean
guess
OPEC?
He made his money
No.
through gold and he worked for the oil industry. What happened?
I guess he
Was it
branched off and
Saudis? Was this the prince?
I guess he branched off and wanted to make his own company. So like him and his much younger wife or whatever set up in North Arlington. And then they eventually went to Kearney. I forget where in Kearney. I'm pretty sure they're out of business now. But yeah, like I remember going to the website to like find out about it, and they had this big old bullshit story. Like every time they had me go pick up meats or anything like that, I had to go to the meat district in New York and just get the same shit. And then they vacuum sealed it, and freaking I would go
Put their
deliver
label on
these.
it?
And it was good meat. Like don't get me wrong, it was really good stuff because like I would get like free shit a lot of times. So it was really good meats like chicken cutlets, burgers, steaks, all that. It was really good meat. But like their whole story, their background was just bullshit.
So when you bought the meat at the meat district, though, so they're advertising themselves as like grass-fed, local,
Right.
raised. Was
Like
there
they
even,
were saying that they own their own farms, which wasn't true.
okay, so they're not, but they
in
didn't. Even,
downtown New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, upstate New York is plenty of farms there. They're selling in New York City.
Right.
But so like when you went to buy it at the meat district, did they have like, oh, this is our grass-fed section. This is our do they have different, or is it just
I don't know. It usually was like the order was there, so I just backed up the freezer van
I
or freezer
see.
truck or whatever, and they just loaded it up.
Back in the 80s, my grandfather ran Valley Provisions in Newark. He was the owner.
That means?
I don't think
Valley
that company
Provisions?
exists anymore.
Valley Provisions. They still have trucks around today. He sold a business forever ago.
I'm not familiar. What is it? What's
That's
Valley
exactly what it is. It's
Um,
meat,
Oh, okay.
poultry. They
First of
deliver
all,
to
saying
all the
Valley
supermarkets.
Provisions doesn't tell me what it is.
No,
It says
that's the name of the company, Valley
Yeah, I know,
Provisions.
I know you said, but you say it's exactly what it is. I'm like, what?
It's the
Provisions?
same exact thing. They would deliver meats.
Yeah.
They would deliver to supermarkets, meats like mom and pop stores, like delis and stuff like that.
Have you guys ever been to Western Beef?
What is
No.
that?
Whenever I would go to New York, visit my grandmother, I would always see giant billboards Western Beef, which I guess was like a giant butcher grocer, and I've never been to it, and yet I used to see their signs and billboards all the time, and I was just wondering, you guys not even familiar with the name?
I don't think so.
That's what I
Maybe if I saw the logo, but the name doesn't ring.
It's a cactus, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a cactus.
Hmm.
All right. Anyway.
Speaking of which, your hot tub event while watching Netflix. You want to tell the audience about that? How that transpired?
So
first set up the night. What were you doing in the hot tub?
No things. No, I just go out there sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch Netflix on a tablet, like on a stand, while I'm just relaxing. And I'm watching a bunch of shows until the tablet basically dies.
So you literally sit in the hot tub and just watch it until the thing just shuts off?
Not usually. Usually, I guess I didn't charge it enough, and it didn't last like an hour or so.
Oh.
And so then it's just a black screen. It's dark outside, and I'm playing on my phone. And I look like to the right, like over my phone, and I see a face staring at me. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Who the fuck is looking at me in this fucking hot tub? And I'm for a second there, I'm about to say, like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, who's this fucking creep staring at me? And then I realized, oh my God, I'm staring at the fucking reflection in the tablet, scared by my own goddamn face. I almost shit my pants in the hot tub. My heart literally, I swear to God, it must have doubled. Unbelievable. I was shitting my pants like, what weirdo comes into my backyard and just is hovering over the hot tub looking at me? I thought all these things in a split second, like, what a weirdo. I'm about to get murdered by fucking some psycho.
Wait a minute. How many drinks did you have at that point?
No, none. I wasn't even.
You were completely sober.
Completely sober, and
wow.
Like, all these thoughts happened in a fraction of a second. Like, it wasn't like I was just like stuck for like a minute, but in that fraction of a second, the adrenaline kicks and everything works faster, and I'm just staring at a face.
Yourself.
I'm literally staring at a face in the darkness because it's dark out in the backyard.
In the darkness,
dude, it was a face in the darkness.
Oh man.
Yeah, like did you get did your hair stand and get like goosebumps and shit? Like how shook were you in that split? Like you had to have been
literally
bro,
scared the shit out of himself.
Honestly, my heart rate was like immediately like what the fuck?
How long did it take you to realize you were staring at yourself?
Spingling.
It was probably 3 seconds, I'm guessing. It was it felt like a long time, but it couldn't have been that long. Because I'm like, wait, think, what is this going? What's what? Oh, probably reflection. Okay, it is. Yeah. Oof. But man, for a second, it really looked like somebody staring at me. It's so weird.
Edric says you're not live. What a
yes,
dumbass.
Oh my God, he's.
Well, I don't understand it, man. We're live every single Friday at 9 p.m. and so many people say we're not live, and they don't click the link on because YouTube, right? It has the little red recording thing to show that you're live. So, but you have to click on the logo.
You got
to go to the channel to see it live. And they don't do it. They just look at it like, oh, you're not live.
Well, my issue, what annoys me is that.
Well, that's why I gave the link to the live stream. I didn't give the link to the YouTube channel.
What annoys me is like usually other people I watch that go live, I'll get a notification. I don't get notifications from our channel, which is weird.
You have to turn the notifications on. You have to hit the bell icon.
I know how to fucking hit the bell icon.
Hit the bell icon. You have to set it to all.
It's right here. Hit the bell right here.
It's right here. It's somewhere over here. You have to hit the bell icon. It goes ding.
That way. The bell icon is that way somewhere.
Let me tell you something. I have it on, and I have it on all, of course. Anyway, so I have a.
It's gonna be hilarious if he's actually right. Are we not live?
No, we're live.
We are because I'm watching us. I have it there. I can see. So I have my first work ChatGPT experience today. You know, mostly I just use ChatGPT for just translating because it works pretty decent. You can get grammar breakdowns.
Wait. Just to set a baseline here. Have you never used ChatGPT at work prior to this?
No, I don't think so.
So this is the absolute first time you've ever used it.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever been like, I'm specifically now going to use ChatGPT to do a work task that I don't want to do.
Okay.
What was the work task?
So we have to
trying to replace the spreadsheet guy, probably.
No. That's what I need. I'm gonna need a That's actually what I'm really looking forward to, the agents thing. If I can figure out how to make an agent to replace myself and not say anything. So we have to write these memos for the audit where we have to we have these complicated contracts and we have to cite different things, like why we get to record revenue this way and blah 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 blah. And usually every year we do it really simply. And this year they're giving us a real hard time about it. Like, no, we want it to be expanded. We want you to quote things. We want you to take screenshots, blah blah blah. So what I did was I took an existing good example. I fed it to ChatGPT. I fed our contracts to ChatGPT, and I fed the POs and the accounting guidelines. And I said, hey, take this, put it in this format, reference this, and explain why we need to why we get to do called milestone billing, why we should be allowed to use this, because it literally cross-referenced from our contract to the accounting guidelines and did the whole work. Now, here's where it sucks. Because they also wanted screenshots of the contract parts that match. I said, hey, and also take screenshots of our contract showing how it matches to the guidelines.
But how would it know that without the document?
I gave him he ready for the document.
So you uploaded. You didn't copy and paste. Okay.
No. I literally just attached the files.
Okay.
And it said, okay, I prepared this document and I've inserted screenshots. I look at the document. I said, no, you didn't insert screenshots. Oh, my mistake. Hold on. I've inserted the screenshots. There's no fucking screenshots, and it says in there, look up this page. They did not take any screenshots. I could not get it to understand that. Then I tried to do it again, and it's oh, we lost all data. You have to re-upload. Lost all data, not working. So I had to start a whole new thread, redo the whole document. Still no screenshots. Finally, I said, hey, how about you just tell me these parts where you're pretending there's a screenshot, what you actually want to take a screenshot of, and show me the reference. And it's oh yeah, look up this page and look for these keywords. So then I just manually created the screenshots myself from where it said that they were, which actually worked, but it could not take screenshots. It could not do actual accurate reference.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody tell it to make screenshots before. So that's a first for me. I didn't know it was capable of doing that.
Well, it's not, because it didn't do it.
Yeah, I know with ChatGPT, sometimes you have to be very specific, but if you're actually referencing the page and the paragraph number and everything, and it's not doing it, it's I don't. It might not be there yet, but it might also depend on the model you're using too. I know they have 4.0 mini.
I don't pay the professional.
The 4.5 version just came out this week, I believe. So
well, I'm using whatever. I don't know. I'm using whatever is standard. I pay $20 a month for their subscription.
Yeah, but with the paid version, I think you can pick which model you can use. Whereas the free version, you can't. You're just stuck with whatever it defaults to you. Edric in chat, by the way, says, you sound like you're in a bathroom. Is it not using your mic on your headset?
I mean, do I sound like that to you guys?
Yeah, it's a little tiny.
There's some there's background reverb going on there.
But nothing bad. Not bathroom bad.
It's not terrible, but you can hear it a little bit.
Well, I can't change my echo cancellation while recording, unfortunately.
Yeah. I blame Edric
success
for not.
So anyway, this would have taken. I was doing it with this other guy from the division. He said this would have taken him like a week to do the work that I did in 20 minutes.
But was it at least? It was helpful.
Oh my god, it was a huge help. Huge help. I'm waiting for the auditor's response to see if it actually worked, but yeah.
So tentatively successful.
Yeah.
Wait, the owner or the auditors?
Auditors.
I feel like I'm about to say the auditors probably have to accept it. Yeah.
The auditors have to just go through quality control and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, some of those videos that I was watching on YouTube with AI agents, especially when they layer in multiple agents where it can hand off different tasks depending on what it is, that shit's that's like the game changer, I think, with AI. When it's able to do all of these follow-ups on its own. It can do all these tasks, like add shit to your calendar. It can look up flights. It can get pricing information. So I started testing this at work. I started messing around with, you probably saw the conversation I had with Sam the other day. So I started creating this AI bot, and I started
I did
uploading.
not.
Oh, that's right. You're not in that. That's right, you're not in the room. But so what I started doing was we have guys that go out, they do installations for hardware, they do camera systems, they do DVRs, recorders, access control systems, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of the times, I'm gonna wait for the audio to.
Oh, what the hell?
You
Just because I
good?
unplugged it? Yeah.
Yeah, it kills the video. You can do that, but you do sound better. So anyway, we're down. I had them download the spec sheets, right? I want like all the camera models, all the recorder models. This way, anytime they have any problems, you need to troubleshoot. Like all that information is right there. So it's like, how do you password reset this camera? How do you crack the password for this video recorder? Like all this stuff, and like feed it into the bot. And then I went a step further, and I'm like, I wonder if it can do quoting. And sure enough, it went out to the internet, found the cheapest price in Amazon, and then linked it back into the response on where to buy it. And then it would ask, like, do you want it to include a hard drive for recording, or do you want to keep it bare where you can bring your own? Because sometimes, if a customer comes to us and says, hey, we need 4 months worth of surveillance recordings. We need to be able to go back a few months. You have to buy a bigger hard drive. Most of the time, the hard drives they come with are just not big enough, and that's for that purpose. And just from testing, like right off the rip, it was doing a pretty good job, but it was thrown up on itself when I gave it over 20 PDFs. It was like, whoa, that's too much. So that's why I was looking at, if you layer in the agents and you give it 20 for this one, for just the cameras, 20 for this one, just for the recorders, more information on the pricing, how to do the quotes, how to do the proposals. Like, I feel like if you layer it and they all kind of do their own job function, I feel like it would actually be really useful and people automate a lot of shit.
Did you notice though, was it like what it did? Did you have to like really check it because it made some dumb mistakes, or was it actually accurate?
The first couple of times there were some issues with it. And I noticed one of the biggest things that I've learned in watching the videos is it's all in the prompts. It's like you have to pre-format step by step how you want it to respond, how you want it to structure the response. And you have to give it very specific instructions, because they're like, the more you give it up front in the prompt, the less it'll hallucinate in your responses later, especially in the follow-up. So like for example, you uploaded it, it came back, it did not give you screenshots, even though it was referencing. You said, oh, there's no screenshots. That back and forth, the more you go back and forth, the bigger of the chance it will hallucinate at some point. That's the key is, and I know in the paid version of ChatGPT, someone showed in one of the videos, if you go into the account profile, there's a section in there you can copy and paste your own pre-filled prompts. You don't have to keep typing it over again and again.
Oh,
like, for example, you could tell it only respond in a professional manner. Like, don't go to web sources, or ignore all sources from this website. You can give it specific instructions, and it'll follow your instructions every single time, and that reduces the chances of hallucinating or give you erroneous responses and shit like that. So it's been helpful. I've used it for drafting. I've used it for contracts. I've used it for SEO, for like blog article rights, for social media rights.
Yeah, your job seems perfect for like a lot of
email advertisements. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
It has its strengths, but it has its weaknesses. Like you saw, like anything that has to do with graphics or screenshots
Oh
or
my
stuff like
God.
that. It's
Horrible.
I mean, it has, what is it called? DALL-E, which is the image generator. I haven't had much luck with that, to be honest, because half the times you ask it for something, the image has nothing to do with what you're talking about. So,
Well, we had the problem when I was trying to do the logo where it doesn't. Again, it's not AI.
oh,
It doesn't
medium.
Yeah, it doesn't understand you. It doesn't. It's not.
It can't do words either. It's not very good at words.
Horrible. And it doesn't understand. Like, if I say to you, "You've just generated an image for me. Take that image and make these edits." It cannot do it. It cannot do it. It just re-rolls it and makes another image.
Yeah.
Which, why are you doing that? Wasting graphics.
I feel like
somebody's breathing real heavy in the mic, though. By the way, just to let you guys know.
Is it me?
Yeah,
It might be you.
Could be me. I know, because I'm like so close to the mic. There we go. That's better. What was it? You always says you're breathing like a fucking walrus.
I'm like, I feel James Gandolfini's in here with us in the room.
James Gandolfini.
Wait,
RIP to the
where's
boss.
Meadow? Where's she at?
Meadow's fucking hot.
I like when she was on Entourage.
Was she on Entourage?
Yeah,
Oh,
remember
that was after
she was Turtle's love interest.
That was after. Oh wait, that's
She
might have been after I stopped watching.
she jerked him off on the plane, and Drama didn't believe him. It's like, yeah, you're full of shit. There's no way, no fucking
I
way.
do know. I definitely don't remember this from.
Yeah.
I think I stopped watching before that.
I'll YouTube that shit right after this stream.
I don't think they show that. I think it's just they just
No,
talk
yeah,
about
no,
it.
no,
They
yeah,
just
yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
yeah.
I
okay.
lost where's my list? I lost it.
I have no idea about this topic. Whoever wrote, what
Which
is the
one?
proper etiquette about wedding getting invited to wedding as an afterthought?
Okay, so here's the story for that. I'm the one that put that in there. So what was it? The Thursday before Valentine's Day, my work had the senior team. We had our annual outing. We went to Dave and Buster's. So I went there. My girl met me there. Because we could bring over a guest or whatever. So I brought my girl. She ended up talking for a little while with one of my former coworkers. She was never a manager. She was just an associate. But then she went on to start another career someplace else. I don't want to give a whole lot of personal
Yeah,
details.
no need to.
But so they start communicating, and this former associate, she is getting married to one of my peers, which is a manager. So they're getting married. So she starts talking about her wedding to my girl. My girl then asks, she's like, "Oh, is that the wedding we're invited to?" Because I'm invited to another wedding unrelated. And she's like, "Oh no, I don't think I sent you guys an invite or whatever." So like I wasn't there, but my girl kind of briefly talked to me about it. Then lo and behold, like the following week at work, my peer, he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I got something for you." And like, but like I was busy in the meeting, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, I left it on your bag on your desk or whatever." So I go out there, and lo and behold, it's a wedding invite, and it's
Mhm.
like coming up soon, like a few months. So I was like,
A few months
clearly,
is
I
but
thought you were about to
clearly,
say, "Oh, it's next weekend." I'm like,
yeah.
all right. If
well,
it's a few
but
months
like, but
away, that's okay. I mean,
it's a few. No, it's not that I can't go or won't go or anything like that. But it's like I was kind of like an afterthought. Like,
Yeah, but you're not
like,
family. You're just a coworker, right?
how close of a coworker? Like, how often are you
Yeah.
talking to them?
well, like when she was an associate, like we talked, like right, but like would I say we're super close? No, none like that. And like cool, like I'm grateful for the invitation, right? But it's like, did they feel pressured or guilty, like because of her talking to my girl, or whatever? Like,
Could be.
Or then maybe they were just like, oh yeah, like maybe they had a
It
certain
could
guest list,
it
and
could just be she was talking to your girl and she's like, you know what, they seem cool. Like, we
mm,
should invite them.
or just maybe just don't remember everybody you want to
Yeah, I
invite.
mean,
I'm like, oh yeah, you know.
the comment section.
you made the cut.
He said I bullied my way into a wedding invitation. First
like
of all,
You
first of all,
bullied your way into spending money.
I was not involved in that conversation whatsoever. It was actually me and the groom, completely unrelated, playing a basketball game in Dave and Buster's. Not even talking about the wedding whatsoever.
So wait, the groom, he didn't mention this to you. This sparked because your girl was talking to the bride.
Yeah, so like the
Oh
Or
wait,
bride,
did you
bride
get
to be?
was
Bride
the
to be?
was the wedding a +1?
yes.
Oh, it's a big invite. Not everybody gets a +1, even though you're an afterthought. You got a little bit of
Yeah.
special treatment.
Yeah, because
Those plates are expensive, man. You know how much it is per head for a fucking wedding?
right.
Shit.
And kudos to my girl, because like me and a bunch of like I was a work on, so we're all co-workers. So like we started talking about work for a little bit, and so my girl like instantly
Of
just
course.
got up, saw the other former associate like just sitting off to the side by herself. She's like, "Oh, let's go. We each got these Dave and Buster credits. Let's go play some games with her while they're doing their work stuff or whatever." So like it was cool of my girl to go and just start a conversation, and lo and behold, now I have a freaking wedding invite.
That's actually not. Yeah, but now you just got responsibility to buy a gift and shit. Are you gonna go?
I
Yeah,
was
I'm
gonna
gonna go.
say, are you happy you were invited, or you didn't
Yeah.
really care?
I am happy.
Okay.
I knew about the wedding. I didn't feel any type of way about not getting invited, because the same thing. I'm like not super close. I'm not family or anything like that. I'm happy that they're getting married. They've been together for a long time.
All right. Well, What are you gonna get him?
I have freaking no idea. Not a freaking
You
clue.
should ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, I will.
Quick,
I
give me
will.
some wedding gift ideas
I will ask
for
ChatGPT.
a
What's some good
for a
wedding
coworker that
wedding
invited me
gifts?
last minute. What's a last minute gift? See what it comes back with. I'm kind of interested.
Do you
But
pay for
yeah,
ChatGPT too, Dave, or just free version?
Yes, I do. I never use it, so it's a complete waste of my money. Actually, that's not true. I do use it sometimes for work. Not anything in depth for you at work. More like associate reviews, like manager reviews and things like that. So I really just use it around twice a year for the amount of people that report to me. Uh,
I use it pretty much every day. It's
I
been
don't use I don't
pretty.
use it every day. Probably every other day.
I'm gonna try to use it more.
I can
But
I'll go a week without using it, and all of a sudden I'll use it hardcore for like 2 days straight. Does that still count? I mean,
right.
yes,
it just
it's
depends. If I have a project going on and I need to save time for one reason or another, I'm just like, you know what, give me. And the cool thing is like if I needed to do drafting for like an email or like email marketing or something, I can just ask it, give me 8 different variations of what you just said, and it'll give me 8 different variations with different subject matter,
okay. That's pretty good.
which
It
is
doesn't
great
all
because
feel very samey though. I mean, I feel like when you reading AI writing really feels like you're reading AI writing. It has no personality,
you
charm, or
have to give it.
character.
That's where the prompts come in. You have to be very specific in what you say. You could tell it to not sound like tell it to sound more human, and it will try to mimic what normal people would say, as opposed to it
It's
throwing
just
word
stealing
salad.
someone's style though.
It is, but at least it gives it some more like a human element into the wording. Otherwise, a lot of times it just regurgitates word salads or just
Oh my
throws a bunch
god,
of
yeah.
words together.
Which is perfect
If
for audit memos because
it
that's all it is.
is,
Perfect for that.
or like when it does summaries of like Zoom meetings or something, it takes a transcript of a Zoom meeting and it gives a summary and you can email it later. You can do that too.
All right. So moving on to another topic. Oh.
Oh no, which
So
one?
we all know me and Edric are collecting retro video games. And yeah, so what got me started? I don't know what that got Edric started, but was
FOMO
retro.
probably.
Who? Oh, FOMO. Yeah,
FOMO probably
probably.
because
Yeah.
somebody else has a cool hobby. He wants it.
As soon as yeah, but that's true. As soon as I started, all of a sudden he was super interested in all this stuff. But Retro Rick, I found his videos, started watching his videos, and I was like, he was on the quest to complete his NES collection. I'm more in line to complete his version of collection because his version of collection is just the North America releases. None of those like aftermarket releases or anything like that. It's strictly the North American releases, which is like 670 something some odd games.
Seems
And
doable.
he just completed just the other day, right? So like it's interesting, right? Like cuz like I don't watch as much of his channel as much anymore cuz now he owns a gaming store, so it's less about him traveling the country to these gaming conventions to complete his collection. It's more now him running his store, which is also very cool and interesting. Um, but throughout the journey, like he would say how he would start his collection, get it pretty big, get it pretty close, but then he'll sell off big chunks of his collection to pay off things or
What?
whatever. So
Isn't that kind of defeating the purpose of like having a collection?
well, yeah, it is right, but like life happens, right? Like if you can buying a house or something like that, like sometimes he just
Selling a
made it
graphics card.
selling a graphics, buying a graphics card or whatever.
We're not
Uh,
talking about anybody
get
specific, right?
No.
buy, probably getting money to start the game store that he bought, right? All these different things, right? So like he had ups and downs of his collection. So like finally he completed it. It was funny. He had 4 more games and he got all 4 games at the same convention. They weren't super hard to get. They're somewhat rare, but like not super expensive. I think $60 was the most expensive out of the 4 games. The other ones were like $15-$20 games. So it's interesting. He landed a 4 and like not really hard to get games where he got all 4 at the same convention or whatever. But it was kind of encouraging. Like the
Is
one
big.
game, the
So
most
you
expensive.
want to match it? You want to have every Nintendo game.
Yeah, because like you said, the 672 is doable. Um, the big one, and I don't even think he bought the authentic one. I think he had to buy
Remaster or a re-release.
yeah, reproduced one of the most expensive in that track and field game. It's like $10,000. There's
But was that?
I'm never gonna buy that one. I'll buy a fake version of that one.
But isn't that like that's not? I thought it was like major. That was like a special release, wasn't it?
It wasn't a special release, so the story on that game is it came out right at the end of the NES lifespan. It was like one of the very last games ever made for the NES. So
Not the one
like
with the trackpad running, right?
I think it is the trackpad running.
Really? My friend said that.
I had that.
I feel like a lot of people.
Right.
I feel like that was not that rare.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a trackpad one because I know the one you're talking about, the trackpad one, but like the one that's the most like the $10,000 is it because it came out right at the end of the NES lifespan. So it's like it came out, but everybody moved on from the NES, so nobody really bought this game. So there weren't a ton of copies sold. So that's what makes that one so freaking rare.
So
So-
what is your draw to wanting to own every NES game? Nostalgia or like?
It's nostalgia, right? Like because of course, like you remember growing up. Like I remember
Oh, but
growing
wait,
up in a
you're younger than me though. So why Nintendo and not Super Nintendo? Was Nintendo even a system you played when you were younger?
yeah, Nintendo was the very first console I ever owned. My
I feel
godmother
like
bought it for me. Yep.
When you're talking about the games, right? I know Nintendo, starting with the first NES, had that gold seal for a lot of the games.
Yeah.
And that
Nintendo
Oh,
quality.
Yeah,
the
but
oval. Yep, the oval seal. Yep.
it was, from what I understand, it was a standardization process, kind of similar to what Apple does today. When you have to submit apps to the App Store and it has to have
Yeah.
strict guidelines. NES back then, I believe, from what I remember reading, was there was an actual guideline, it was an actual guidebook that the developers had to follow to the T. And during submission for the game, I believe they had to obviously give a user manual of how the whole game works, and then actually send in a VHS tape of a full run through from beginning to end of the game of
Hmm.
how it's supposed to go through. And then after that, Nintendo would go through all the spec sheets, they would watch the video, and then after they, I guess, abide by and check all the boxes that you're supposed to check off during the submissions, then they would stamp their approval on the
Mhm.
game. But
Hmm.
was every single game that ever came to the US market, did they all have that gold seal, or was it like a hodgepodge of different ones in the
There's like
US?
there's those games that came out in the US like those Bible games, and they're like
Yeah.
funky different color cartridges, like a freaking like almost like
Yeah.
an aqua blue card. Those are not. So those games are you can play on the NES, but they're not Nintendo official.
Yeah, it was basically, it was a seal like this game will work because of what happened with Atari with all the shovelware and garbage games that weren't
Yeah.
functional. So Nintendo was like,
It's a
this is
certification process.
yeah, it's a
Right.
certification
But the
process. You know?
600 and something games, are all those gold?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
are.
So
Okay.
that's what I said. Like to
So no
talk
Bible
about the game.
games.
Yeah,
No
no
Bible
Bible games. So
games.
to talk about the games that Lewis is referencing, it's like it
Yeah.
jumps up by like an extra 100 games or whatever. Because in that final video where he completed his collection, he talked to another collector, and he was like, "Well, no, my collection is a little bit more in depth," and he was like, "It's 700 something or whatever." Where Retro Rick was the more simpler collection. But to answer
So
Miguel's question, it's twofold, right? Like you grow up, you kind of want the games, whatever, but it's like most of the games I ever even played on Nintendo, I rented. I didn't own a lot of Nintendo games, right? So it's always like, oh man, I wish I could play that game. I wish I could play that game. But the point of my collection is not to necessarily play the games. I will play them and everything like that. I mean, I want them all workable. But the point of the collection is more so it's achievable. Like, cause basically every console that comes after that, now you're going from 600 to 800, 900,000 games. Like I looked at PlayStation 1, right? Because PlayStation 1 is probably one of my favorite consoles of all time or whatever. And I forgot what the number was, but the number of games was way bigger than freaking Nintendo. So this one's just more achievable. Is
so
basically why I'm
just
going
you
after
just
this one.
want to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then what when you're done,
Command
like
and Conquer.
then what's your next? You're gonna start like a
I'll
different
start
collect something else
Super
or
NES.
no? He says no. He says no. It's too much.
I don't know if I like so
How
I
many
kind of
games
stopped
were
I
there
kind of
for
stopped
NES?
playing.
For
It was
Super
like
NES?
672. Like I'll go
Super
back to
NES.
the SNES. Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Um,
far more because it had so much more popularity at that point.
yeah. I don't know. Like, so I have two collections right now. Is my NES collection, which isn't very large right now. I probably have around maybe 60 to 80 games,
Oh,
if that.
I thought you had way more than that. You're only like 10% done.
Yeah.
You
And
mentioned Edric before for the retro stuff. And I know he's not here to answer, but was he doing this prior to that whole whatnot debacle, or was that
well,
after?
when I made an announcement that I was gonna start collecting this, right? He already had a bunch of NES games, I guess, from his childhood, and then his brother also gave him a bunch or whatever. So he instantly already automatically had a huge jump start. Um, then he started getting into whatnot, but even before whatnot, he put me on this whatchamacallit, Goodwill. So Goodwill will
Oh yeah,
you will
Mm,
not find
not anymore.
that's right.
games at the
That was
at
before
physical at
whatnot.
Goodwills anymore because they sell them online. But and they sell them all auction price. But now, I mean, even when me and Ed started looking at Goodwill, right, like the prices were already getting sky high, or at least to where the market
Yeah.
is. So you're really not getting deals anymore. But sometimes you'll get a deal here or there, more so consoles than the actual games. But now freaking people are going nuts. Now it's going past the market value, so I don't even look at Goodwill anymore. Like maybe at like 1 o'clock in the morning when nobody's on, I might get a snipe. But then again, I haven't been looking to play. Not even same thing with Funko Pops. I haven't been buying all that many. I think I have like 8 in my trunk right now that I bought of One Piece that I haven't even brought in the house. So it's more like occasionally, once in a while, I'll pick up something here and there. If I'm at a flea market, if I see a Nintendo game I don't have, I'll pick that up. I'm obviously getting like the cheapest stuff first. I think the most I paid for an NES game was like 80 to $100, maybe $120.
So what? You played all the games, right? Right. You said you tested them all. Their work.
I haven't.
Oh.
They're all guaranteed to work or whatever. But the Nintendo I have a Nintendo. I have
Yeah.
the controls and everything like that. But the guy that sold me Nintendo didn't send me the power brick. And then I asked him to send it to me. He said I will. And then
Just
he
go to the
he
So
store
do
and
you
get
know if
one.
the Nintendo
no,
works?
because I want an official Nintendo brick. I could buy
Right, but in the meantime, you want to play,
yeah,
right?
maybe, yeah.
Mm.
So you don't want to play. You just collecting.
Emulator. It's an emulator.
Because I was gonna ask, like, for me, I played the emulated games, and I'm like, man, this just doesn't hold up. I don't enjoy Nintendo games, almost any of them,
Right.
besides like Punch Out. Like, I don't know. I like Super Nintendo. I feel like was a sweet spot where I really like a lot of still Super Nintendo games. But man, Nintendo games I go back and play, and I'm like, these games are just fucking annoying. They're just annoying.
Oh,
No save spots.
Nintendo games are hard as shit too. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
but cheap hard. They were just cheap, just
although like
frustrating.
That's why
now
we
that I'm
grew up the
thinking
way we
about it,
are.
I just finished cleaning out the trunk of my car. And I'm almost certain because I don't remember bringing it in. I'm gonna have to go through my collection now to see if I did bring it in. One of the most expensive games I bought was a Mega Man game. It was actually at the last one that we went to, the Too Many Games. I bought a Mega Man game there, and I left it in my trunk for the longest time. And now, like, I just cleaned out the trunk. I don't remember seeing it. So now I'm worried. I fucking lose that game.
I don't understand why you don't come out,
Edric probably
come back
tracked
to your
it.
house. Why would you just empty your trunk as soon as you get back if you have a bunch of stuff in there?
Yeah. I don't
Maybe
know. I might have.
that says I don't really give a shit. I'm just buying the shit to buy it. You know, those are FOMO
Yeah.
purchases because they don't even leave your trunk. You forget they're
Well,
there.
it's not like it's like I already bought it. I secured it, right? Because eventually, what I want when I have to come, or at least not maybe not up until I have the collection, but I have a vision of I'm either gonna get shells specialized. I'll probably make it myself for the exact dimensions of the NES cartridges, so I could put X amount into a row or whatever and fill up a bunch of bookshelves for that right either that or if not a bookshelf, probably shelves all around the room. I would want to display it all around the room on shelves to show the complete collection or whatever. So like once I start, because right now like the reason I do that right is like because whether it's in the trunk or it's up here in the room, whatever, it's still out of sight. Like it's not technically displayed or anything like that. So that's why I really didn't see it as much as difference. But I know it's there. I know I bought it. I don't have to worry about it type thing. But clearly I do because now I'm curious what the hell happened to that.
Seriously.
Best guess is I did bring it in.
I foresee
Best
a new
guess is I did
project
bring
in
it in. I
your
just can't remember bringing it in.
new project for this weekend to hunt that down.
I
Yeah,
think it's time
definitely.
to give up the hobby.
No.
Well,
here's the thing.
he's-
It's not like
he's
he's
talking about having these
2026.
shelves up in the room. I envision us being old men when we're like well in our 60s, and then he's gonna be doing these live streams, but he's gonna be auctioning them off one at a time live on stream.
Yeah, maybe. But
Actually,
here's
yeah,
the
we
thing.
should. We need to play into. I want you to play your damn Nintendo games on stream
Okay, I can do that.
during the next podcast.
He's gotta get that
Okay.
power brick.
I can do that.
Just get any power brick, please.
Yeah, I'll get a power
Alright.
brick off Amazon.
Is it
Uni-
top loading or
universal.
front loading, Nintendo?
Front loading?
Oh,
Put
you
the
gotta
top
blow in the
loading one, they work.
cartridges.
Yeah, that's just not gonna work.
He'll be on stream. It'll do the flashing color shit.
They'll try to do every little trick where you just like you slam it in, or really slow, or like hit the front thing. There was always like the
use
techniques.
the Q-tips with the rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
God,
Wow, that.
I have a love-hate relationship with that box.
Yep,
We-
we
we
all
had
do.
We had a very roller coaster rich history.
Do you guys know the duck hunt trick? Everybody's always surprised when I tell them this.
Duck hunt.
know the duck hunt trick?
Trip.
Trick.
The jumping up and down on the cane.
No, the duck hunt trick is that if you plug a
Oh, duck hunt.
controller,
I thought you said DuckTales. Yeah.
duck hunt trick. If you plug a controller into player 2 slot, you can control the ducks while the other person is playing.
Yeah, that's not a trick. That's in the instruction manual. I know what you're
But nobody
talking
knows it. Nobody knows it.
about. Yeah.
Whenever I tell people, they never know because I would read the instruction manuals. That was my favorite part. Get a new game on the way home from the store. You open the box, you had to read the instruction manual. Now, I mean, you got shit.
And
Barely have
instruction
instructions in
manuals
games.
are fucking awesome.
They
I
were.
freaking love
They were
them.
the
Like
best.
they give you the lore of the game and like you'll have the little pictures and everything like
The
that.
character bios.
The character bios, like it was freaking amazing. I loved the instruction manuals.
I always remember when I remember reading, I think, Street Fighter instruction manual, and the characters always had their blood types listed. And I'm like, why the fuck do they have blood types listed? But I guess in Japan, blood type is like horoscopes here. It's your personality is like based on your blood type.
Oh,
is that what it
okay.
is?
Okay.
Yes.
interesting.
So yeah.
Dude, they haven't.
That was
They,
always
they
confused.
don't do any of that shit anymore. You get
So-
cutscenes now. That's all you get.
I was
Get
thinking the
cosmetic
other
purchases.
day, right? Here's something that games just don't do anymore. One of my favorite games of all time. I'll grab it later. I have it. I have the original copy. Is Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1.
Mhm.
One of the here's why I absolutely love that. There's so many different things that you could do, right? Like, and it required like so much extra playthrough, right? Like, you beat the game and then you got a Sniper Wolf's bandana, right? So then you go to the game with the bandana. And the only purpose of the bandana is when you get back to her area, her wolves would smell you and then they'll fall in love with you because they think you're her or whatever. That was the only reason that thing exists in the game. But then you play the game and then you get something else, and then you're able to play in a tuxedo and everything like that. It's like they had all these different hidden things in the game, things that you needed to go do. Like you had to beat the game 3 times, and then this other scenario would pop up or whatever. Like it had all this cool shit. Like Hideo Kojima, like
Well, not
freaking-
every game had that though.
Well, no, not every game, but like Metal Gear did it the best, right? It's
Chrono
like-
Trigger did it the best.
Okay. Like it just had so much cool shit and replayability, whatever. And games are like now they just don't have that. Like where's the hidden shit, the cool Easter eggs in games nowadays? Like they're just not there anymore.
Mhm.
Like Metal Gear, remember with the camera or whatever, you would have a camera in the game where you had to take a picture and it'll be like a ghost, but it's like one of the developers. Like cool little simple stuff like that, right? Like no impact to the game or whatever, but it's like a cool thing to find.
Well, I'll give you one recent one. In Nier Automata, you know that game with 2B,
Yeah.
character 2B? If you put the camera under her skirt, she kicks you in the face. 'Cause You're being,
Yep.
and there's that. That's one of those Easter eggs, you know. It just depends. I feel like
Only you would know that.
I never even played the game. Well, I actually did play the game. I never tried that. That was
I mean,
you know, it's Reddit.
I
Reddit.
knew about that when I saw it on top 10 Easter egg YouTube videos or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, one of those shits.
So,
But I mean, games are just more focused on like cosmetic purchase. I remember like loving unlocking shit, and that's all kind of died. The unlocking shit.
Yeah. And
well,
I
no,
was
now
thinking the
it's pay
same
to
thing.
play.
Like,
You want to unlock
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
pay.
the unlocking
Yeah.
shit, like I get it, right? Like that's gone because of Game Pass and everything like that. But still, you can
Yeah.
still put stuff in the game, like developer things, all this different stuff, like
But I'm not gonna trash games today because their games today are still they got a lot of shit going on in them. They're still good. Let's not say like, oh, the games were so much better back in the day. I feel like games are tough to go back because when you get a lot of modern like quality of life improvements, it's hard to go back to old games sometimes. Like going back and playing GoldenEye and shit. Get out of here.
Chat's
But-
asking how you knew about that.
yeah. So clearly, Miguel, every time he has a female character in a game, he looks up their skirt. That's the only answer.
Why just female characters?
Because how many male
I'm not
characters are
sexist.
wearing a skirt? How many male characters are wearing skirts in games?
Doesn't matter. You can still look from behind.
Braveheart.
He's looking up Kratos' loincloth.
Exactly. That's right.
Uh,
I'm an equal
See?
opportunity creep.
Chat, you open up Pandora's box. When I say Pandora's box, it's Miguel's box.
Miguel has a box.
Apparently, he has a hot box with a skirt. I don't know.
Wow.
So, Lewis, what's your anti-VR problem? And are you interested in the new Vive VR? Rumored Vive VR.
I don't know. I've never used one before, so
Valve VR, actually, not Vive, because Vive is HTC.
I saw Vive.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Valve. That's my mistake.
Well, I know they're working on their own
Standalone.
OS. Is it them that's working on OS?
Well, they have their own. Their Steam
Yes.
OS.
Yeah, Steam OS. I don't have anything against them. I don't know. I'm old school.
I just don't understand. You are a racing, like a driving car, driving fan, racing game fan. Those are like tailor made for VR. Why do you not have VR for that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I guess I prefer monitors. Call me a boomer. I don't know. But again, I
All right, boomer.
haven't really tried
Okay,
it yet.
boomer. All right, boomer.
I haven't tried racing with VR yet. For all I know, I'll put one on, I'll do a race, and then
You
oh,
did
shit.
try it at
No, I didn't.
Dave's.
No, it wasn't working because you fucking broke it.
Yeah,
I
you broke
remember
my
that.
PlayStation.
You yanked his PlayStation off the goddamn thing, and you
Yeah.
fucking broke it when I was
You,
How was
trying
that,
to
Jake?
use it.
you,
How was that,
you owe me a whole new
How was that, Jake?
console. I can't play it. I can't play Monster Hunter.
You broke his USB port.
That you
did.
did break. You did break my USB port.
I said I will pay for the repairs. I'm not gonna do a whole new
It's been
console.
completely divergenized. It's not even USB. It's like an SB port now.
Oh, man.
Stupid.
Well, that was
So
a janky ass
that's-
setup.
So that's my excuse.
It was
That's-
not. It was not. Nobody else knocked it
Wasn't
over.
it?
You're
Get out that little ass table. We barely stood. Get out of here with that.
But you knew the cables were there, and you still scurried across the floor and tripped
he was
over it
just-
anyway.
I'm
he was just
sorry.
drunk. He didn't know how to.
Drinking, it's drinking and cables running
Dude,
across the
the-
living room floor
you should
is a
have seen-
hazard. Tape
You
them
should have
down.
seen that room when he scurried across. Like there wasn't a square inch of that floor that wasn't touched, because as soon as he yanked the PlayStation,
I almost died.
you went
All right.
into the little stand that the steering wheel was on, and that came crashing into me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to catch it, and I'm like, fucking like the fucking pedals went one way, the steering wheel went the other way, you went
Yep.
another way, the PlayStation just tumbled on the floor. I'm like, what is going on here?
It happens,
Dude,
you know?
Chloe was sitting there. She didn't know what to do. She's like, you just broke
You
my
know,
PlayStation.
It's just how I am. I'm break bottles, break gaming systems. I'm not a coordinated person.
and then the PlayStation wouldn't turn back on again. I'm like, ooh. you-
Well, no,
you broke it?
the steering wheel wouldn't turn back on again. The
Yeah.
PlayStation
Well,
was
that
turning on
too.
fine. Yeah.
Well, that's it.
500 goddamn cables for that thing.
He's
So
blaming your setup.
VR, I like VR, but there's a certain type of game that I like for VR, and you guys heard me talk about this over and over again because these games are awesome. And none of you fuckers will play them. Is there the game I Expect You to Die? Where
I
it's
want to
just-
play them.
It's the puzzle game. You're supposed to be a secret agent and
MILF Hunter?
not.
Wait, why
freaking
didn't
Milf
why
Hunter.
didn't we do that game? Oh, you didn't have that I think,
Because
of the system.
no, because they don't have it for the VR2.
PS5, right? Yeah, yeah.
The VR2. They have it for the VR,
Yeah.
which I
That's so
also have.
stupid.
I guess it's different technology, or the developer didn't want to pay to port it over because they already got their money. Like nobody's gonna rebuy the game, right?
Do we have a special guest appearance?
We do?
I thought I saw a dog in the background.
Oh yeah, that's
Miles.
Miles.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's locked in here with me because Chloe's downstairs
So
watching.
I
quiet.
thought I saw something like on his lap before that looked furry. I'm like, what is
Yeah,
that?
Miles is
That's
on my
just
left
his,
right now.
that's just his
Um,
unshaved balls.
but anyway, stupid.
What is he?
That
Borat?
type of game is freaking. That type of game is freaking awesome, right? Because it's kind of like trial and error. It reminds me of a Nintendo game, right? Like you get so far along in the level and then you die. It's like, okay, now I gotta try this way, and then
Wait, what game is this?
I expect you to die.
Oh, I should.
And, and it's literally like you're like sitting down either in a chair or a spaceship or all these different variations. So like you're stationary, but like there's all these different things, all these different interactions or whatever that you could do, and you progress through the storyline. And you're like trying to think how like, all right, well that killed me, what to do next, and all right, well that still killed me, what to do next, type thing. So those games were fun. The other game I think was freaking genius for VR was the
What
what
Beat
is
Saber?
something don't stop or you'll explode or whatever the
Oh yeah,
bomb
the bomb
defusing game.
diffusing
Oh,
game. Yeah, I know that one.
So they made that one freaking perfectly because the person in the VR is the only one that can see the bomb. Then everybody else has their clipboards, their tablets or whatever, and the person with the bomb is explaining, okay, this is what I see, or this is the components that I see, and you're going through the clipboards like, okay, well, check, check, check. If those three checks happen, then you gotta do this, and then you
Mhm.
defuse that part of the bomb or whatever. And like the highest level, like I saw a YouTube video, the highest level person, one with the VR, and then everybody owned a certain category of defusing the bomb, like the three light problem, whatever. One person had their tablet for that, and everything like that.
Mhm.
Like it took all that coordination to be the highest level of game or whatever. It's like now that's a freaking party game. That's a freaking game night game where everybody has to be bought in and figure that shit out. But
Well,
it's
that's
like
what we
I
really are missing now lately. Like couch co-op games have disappeared for the most part.
right.
Remember playing like four people on one freaking screen playing Halo, and I remember some people actually would like because you have all four boxes, Halo, GoldenEye, whatever. They would tape cardboard because it'd be like no screen peeking, so they would like divide their screen up with taped cardboard to the screen just to prevent cheaters. And there's not a lot of other than Nintendo Switch, where you got Mario
Yeah.
Party or something. There's just not a lot of couch co-op games now.
The best
It's all
part
online.
was lobbing the grenade at the warthog and watching it flip up into the air.
There was
With
some
your
cool ass
teammates on it.
videos.
With your teammates on it, they all fly up in the air with it.
Or
Yeah.
the freaking my favorite thing in Halo was getting a snipe across the map with a pistol. If you got killed across the map
Oh
by a
my
pistol,
God.
like you're not gonna freaking live down that night.
No, but that was a cheap part about the game because the pistol was so goddamn overpowered. It wasn't basically a sniper.
like I was complaining. They
Yeah.
should have freaking patched
That-
that shit.
That was the meta
Yeah.
weapon before there were meta weapons.
Yep.
Or doing the rocket launcher jump.
Oh, that's from Quake.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Quake started that all.
I remember I had N64 and of course GoldenEye, and I lent it to my friends, and they played so much GoldenEye, and GoldenEye did not have random spawns. It had set spawns in order. You would spawn, and they would use proximity mines. And if you died, just put your controller down because every time you spawn, instantly you spawn on proximity mine spots, and you die and die and die over it. And I just remember hearing that dun dun so many fucking times. And then I was like, I'm not playing this game with you guys. This is so annoying. Proximity mines. Can't even
We had-
spawn.
We had the same problem back in the day with Quake. Quake had that problem. Team Fortress had that problem. Half-Life had that problem. It's like they never randomized the spawn spot. So
I guess it was hard to code for back
in
then.
Team Fortress 2, right? If you would just be an engineer and you would just put your sentry gun down by the spawn, like you just spawn camp the
Yeah.
entire time with him like a soldier to lob some rockets in there so he can't blow up the sentry gun, and then that's it. You ruin the game for the whole round. That was it.
I mean, they were still spawn trapping even in like Modern Warfare 2. There's ways to spawn trap.
Mhm.
I mean, there's more ways to get out
Shit.
of it, I guess.
Even now in COD and shipment, people figure that shit out.
Well, I mean, that's just there's no avoiding that. It's too small map, like fucking stupid. It was fun though. I mean,
Maybe one day I'll.
so
get
why you have to get? I'm looking at this. I'm waiting to see, but $1,200. God damn! And they're
That's a lot.
saying and rumored to be selling it at a loss. If this is as good or close to as good as the Vision Pro,
How much is the PlayStation one?
It
My
just got dropped to 400, I think.
my girl Miguel says that you need to check your balance because you're the only one that couldn't manage the cables at the party while you were drunk when you knocked it all over.
I said I'm clumsy. What do you want from me?
He's
She's
clumsy sober. Never mind drunk.
you.
I'm never sober.
So she said nobody else had an issue. It was completely you. So it was your balance.
Yet. You
I
don't know
I
they're
knew
gonna happen
better.
after.
I knew not to walk back there. I walked
Mm.
behind the chair, not in front of it.
All right. He says blame Miguel Day. All right, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Well, I figured this is a good
Blackout Miguel
segue
there.
for you because you have an entire section of Yoel you haven't touched yet.
Well, because I think it's kind of stupid to do it when he's not here. I want to interrogate him.
He said he was coming. Yoel, where are you?
Okay.
He's
too busy.
probably watching this
He's too
right
busy
now, like,
obeying his daughter.
I'm not doing this. I'm busy eating hot dogs, guys.
Anyway,
Or
I want
is
this VR.
He's 3D printing something.
But yeah, ultimately VR is fun. They like, but the thing like I feel like those two games that I just no, that's not true. There's another game. I'm not gonna be able to think of the name of it, right? But so you know how you hold the controller. You hold your controller like this, right? But when you put in the VR headset, when you're looking at your hands are inside of a box, so you can't
I heard
see
about
your
this
hand,
too.
right? But like,
Yeah.
so like the premise is your hands are inside the box, but you have access to controls, but that could control the things that are on the outside of the box. So same
Yeah.
thing is a puzzle thing. So you have to figure out what button does what button does this. Well, like at first you got to figure out what your controls are by looking at what functions appear on the box, and then now you had to figure out the puzzle part too. That game was freaking awesome. Like
But
I was addicted to that game till I beat every level. That game was so freaking cool.
I do like puzzle. I feel like I'm more into puzzle games lately. Just something I can just sit and solve, like playing that Balatro game. But I want for VR more immersive experiences, like something that I always think about playing a game like Call of Duty, but fully where I can actually have it as a workout, where you have like it's actually you're better at the game if you're in shape. Something that motivates for better health, or like if I can wear it while riding a not a bike, but like a stationary bike, so that it actually I know they have the screens where you're going through like the scenery, but I want like the fully immersive scenery that you can actually like ride through. Something that like enhances just kind of mundane tasks so they're more fun, shit that you don't really want to feel like doing, but it make you want to do it more just because it's more fun and immersive. And I feel like it's tough with VR because it's so bulky and you're
Whatever
getting
happened
sweaty.
to the Apple Vision Pro? Like I haven't really heard boo out of that thing.
It's just too expensive, man. So what are you gonna do? It's too
But
expensive.
has there been any progression? Like I like nobody's reviewed it since it came out. Like, is there any good apps for it?
I
Is
don't
it
even know
still
if it's
$3,500? Did it drop?
I have no idea. The only thing they had was they
Pro.
had that clickbait article that came out that Apple canceled their what do they call it? They called it like augmented reality device,
No,
but they
it's
never
still-
called it. But it was just like something that they were in development. It wasn't the Vision Pro. They were just kind of getting clicks. But that's the only thing I've heard about the Vision Pro since.
It's still
Nothing. Just not worth the money.
$3,500.
Just not
Yeah.
worth the money, and that's it.
They need apps. I mean, that's
Even if they had apps, it's $3,500 and it's limited. If it
well, if they had good use cases for it, right, with software, and they drove the price down.
I said, remember, I was like, I would love to have that instead of bringing the laptop for work. If I could have my multi-screen setup, just having the headset, it's worth it. To me, it'd be worth it if it's as good as a laptop that also can power multiple screens to be fully a great work environment
But
as a portability thing.
It can do that, can it?
So apparently, not as well as you think. Like it's only certain types of windows can be multi-viewed. So it wasn't like I could just put anything in any window.
I would think they would build on that and make it better.
Well, I haven't kept track if they have, but
That's what I mean. Like nobody reports on it. None of the tech sites talk about it anymore. It's like it was released. Everybody blew up with all these videos reviewing it, saying, "Oh, is it worth the 3,500?" Blah blah blah. And then it was like poof, it just died afterwards. Nobody talked about it afterwards. No follow ups if there's any progression on any of the original complaints or anything.
I think if there's no news from Apple, what are people going to say? Apple just not talking about it.
I know they came out and said that sales were not as good as they thought it was going to be, which for obvious reasons. But you would think, there'd be some updates from Apple saying, "Oh, we we hear you. These are the changes that are coming. These are the updates that the next iOS is going to be bringing. We have Apple Intelligence is coming to it, and it's going to be able to do this and this. Nothing.
I think it's just
just
they're gonna come back with a scaled down model, like a $2,000 or $1,500 model based on this, but like lower quality, more mass appeal, so that it can actually get a user base.
Has it
'Cause right
been
now,
out
I think it's just
it's
like
been out a year
developer.
already, right?
Yeah, but I think it's gonna take a couple of years because I just think
Yeah.
it's just too expensive, and
Well, it's
so you're
like
not gonna get mass appeal.
the Magic Leap. They said they were going to stop making the Magic Leap headset too.
Magic Leap. I thought Magic Leap got acquired by Apple.
Did they?
I
don't
thought they
think-
did.
I know they had the Magic Leap 2, and then they said they were pulling out of the market. They said they were going to make it anymore, even though they have a bunch of commercial people that are licensing it and have their own software on it, which is really strange.
Lewis, I'm getting feedback that you're super quiet, Miguel's super loud. I'm perfect because I'm always perfect.
Feedback from who? Nobody's talking.
Well, you know who owns.
How about now?
Oh, that's
According
creepy.
to-
You went from quiet to creepy. Miguel's still loud.
Well, there is no mic control, but I put it closer.
Okay, how about now?
Alright.
So
You're right,
apparently,
there's a delay, so I get feedback a little bit later. She's messaging me on the side, but she's watching the stream.
it's just
You
weird.
have a sidebar?
Yeah, I have a sidebar.
So Magic Leap is majority owned by, according to Google Search AI, which we know is garbage, the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund.
Yeah, it's not. I know it's not Apple. I never heard of them buying them out.
I thought I heard somebody, but oh, maybe it was a strategic partnership I heard of. I don't know. Anyway,
Anywho,
Monster Hunter. Oh wait, no, I don't care about that. All right, Monster Hunter. I was gonna say. I wasn't actually. I
Wow.
was gonna talk about the 9070, and I'm like, what are we gonna say? It's out. There's no reviews.
I was
It's
looking
like
at it
this-
too, and I was gonna say the same. I'm like, who cares? Like, it's.
I really was saying, who cares? It's
like
myself.
here's a 5-second
Yeah.
run up. 9070 and XT is the same as the NVIDIA's 5070 and the 5070 Ti. There's like no difference. Like,
Okay,
even the reviews say there's a 2% performance difference. Nobody cares. Who cares?
Yeah. we'll see.
The FOMO brothers, got 5080s. That's but we kind of went over that last week, right? They
Yeah.
got it before Friday. So
Yep. So
I'm
how
excited.
about I have it up there on the topic list.
Yeah,
How
that's
funny
awful.
is it the developers are delaying the launch of their games?
Oh.
No specific games were listed in the article, but developers are waiting to see if GTA 6 is going to delay their launch or if they're going to launch in fall, so basically they're not saying that they're not releasing their launch date because they're waiting to see if GTA 6 is actually going to launch so that they could avoid it. They
Isn't it
want
September
no
17th?
business of launching the same time as GTA 6.
Well, GTA 6 is a big deal. So
Yeah.
they're going to want to avoid it 100%. But
Yeah,
I
no
thought
doubt, no
September
doubt.
17th was already the or is that a rumored launch date? Is that not
There's
official?
no. I'm pretty sure there's no official.
So there's
launch
no
date.
official
But
launch
no,
date.
but they said the fall of
Yeah, fall. But
of
We'll see.
whatever year.
we shall
can I-
see.
Why can't I click this? Oh, there we go.
PC gamers maybe wait. That's the only shitty thing. The PC version, it's not going to be out till
It's-
2026.
Yeah, fall of 2026.
For PC.
Well, it just says the game's gonna launch in fall of 2026. It doesn't say anything about
GTA?
PC. Yeah.
So that's not even this year. We're 2025. I thought it was supposed to come out this year.
September 17, 2025, I think, for console, but PCs is going to be next year.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fall of 2025. My bad. You're right. Fall of 2025.
And again,
I saw-
I keep seeing September 17th over and over again, but they keep saying expected launch, and I think they're basing that on previous years or some shit. I don't know.
But yeah, to your point, GTA 6 is huge. It's long awaited.
The graphics
like
look
that.
fucking beautiful. You guys saw the
And
trailer.
usually when they launch the games, it's usually a huge map, lots of content, and everything like that. So
I
it's just
mean,
funny. It's like they're like
We'll
like-
see because
like
GTA 5 is 10 years in the making, and it's still pretty damn popular.
put yourself in mindset, right? Like you're excited, you have your product, and like all right, we're gonna launch. We put in all this work, and then all of a sudden Rockstar like GTA 6, they're like, oh no, Oh
Well, I
no!
mean,
It's like-
It's
it's
like
like
the
rele-
boogeyman. Like
it's
the
like
boogeyman
releasing
came out
the
of nowhere.
next Jason film the same weekend as Top Gun Maverick.
Did they do that? I didn't know there was Jason movies.
Probably.
But
Also
I just think it's you can still like listen. If you're a game that doesn't target the same audience, you can still release your game. I just think they're all it's going to suck up a lot of the air. But a lot of people don't play GTA Online, so they'll play it for a couple weeks and then they'll be done. You can just release your game.
Were you and Lewis in there when Anthony's friend or cousin or something like that rage quit when we were playing GTA Online? You guys remember that story?
Was that the bus driving thing?
No. There was
Oh, I don't know. I don't really play GTA Online.
Anthony's I forget who, like let's say it was his cousin or something like that, was playing. He kept on wanting to do this specific heist online because it gave the most money or whatever, but it was hard to do. So we kept on trying over and over again. We kept on trying over and over again to the point that the guy's like, all right, well, like I was trying to make it fun, right? So like I made a beeline. I kind of like ignored the mission. I made a beeline so I could jump
course you did. Sammy style.
into a prop plane because the heist was that we a bigger commercial plane needed to take off. I think the heist was to like one of the partners to take off in the plane. So I took a smaller plane and started flying around the map with her while they're doing the heist. And you see the bigger plane coming up as the heist is progressing. So I freaking kamikaze the objective plane, the heist plane, and blew it up at the end of the mission. He just rage quit. Didn't say nothing to nobody. Just signed off. We're all cracking up. We're all laughing. He was so mad and just rage quit. Like,
I definitely was not there for that.
oh my god, that was so
Yeah,
funny.
definitely not.
Like,
I know
game-
we didn't
gaming
play
moments
Grand
like
Theft
that
Auto
is-
that much online. I remember
gaming
playing with
moments
Edric
like
a few
that is
times,
needed.
but we only played it a few times, and then we were just getting absolutely spanked online. It's like you couldn't even kill anybody. Everybody was just like it felt like instant death. It was like you hadn't played COD forever, and then you drop in like Resurgence, and you're getting wiped with the floor. That's what it felt like. And it's like it didn't matter what gun we used. Like we're like, all right, we're done. And it was like after like 3 rounds, we never played it again.
I think I was the same way. I barely played any GTA Online, and it was just a bunch of people running around with rocket launchers. And
I played a lot of
annoying.
single player, but not multi.
I beat it, and then I was done with it. I
Yeah.
would never really go back to those games. Yeah.
I beat it once, right? And I remember like I want to say it was like 6 years or 7 years went by, and I just like didn't pay attention to it. And then I went to do it again, and I'm like, wait, didn't I play this already? I'm like, it's been like 8 years. Is this the same game? I think I got a newer console. Console, and then I ended up like upgrading it to like the download store or something, and it was like a same exact starting as the original. And I'm like, it's like 8 years later. Is this the same game? It's still the latest, and I'm like, holy Christ!
Same with
Yeah.
Skyrim. Skyrim's
Yeah,
been
I was
forever
just about to say Skyrim just kept on relaunching over and over
Has
and
it
over
been
again
10 years or has it been fucking 12 years now? What was the release date of that?
for GTA 6.
September
2013.
GTA 5?
17th. September 17th, 2013. So
almost 12 years.
12 years.
yeah. That's
11 and a
crazy.
half years, yeah.
There's gonna be 13 years by the time 6 comes out.
Well, if it comes out this fall, it'll be 12.
You're right. I still got 2026 stuck in my head. My bad. You're right.
September 17th. What day of the week is that? We gotta take off.
No, I'm not taking off for a fucking game launch.
Really?
I did.
Some people do. That's a Wednesday.
A lot of people do that, I feel like.
Fredo does.
Well, Monster Hunter came out today, but I'm naturally off. I would not have taken off today for Monster Hunter.
I'm like, I want a new game to play, but also like I was just playing Balatron. I'm like, I don't need more distractions. I don't want to get addicted to a new game. I think I don't want a game anymore. I was playing Delta Force last night, and I was like, this is just not fun at all for me. I didn't enjoy 1 single second of playing it. I just felt like I would just move.
I
I
thought it was more
move.
enjoyable than COD, at least in its
It's
current
more
form.
enjoyable, but I'm also
I
just burnt
understand.
out. It's like I'm burnt out on pointing and shooting, right? That's why I'm so excited for Monster Hunter because it's like,
This is
all right,
America.
let me
You never get burnt out on that.
shut your freaking whore mouth. I mean, let's
Oh,
all right,
he's
fine.
pulling
Let's
out
go.
the American card.
Let's go to the range and point and shoot. I'm tired of freaking digitally pointing and shooting.
Well, we brought that
whatever.
up the last
Cheaper.
stream. We were talking about going next time, going soon.
Yeah.
Gotta get
So
training
then,
for the apocalypse.
Monster Hunter is fun because like 100% I could play it on my own, anything like that. But it's also cool to freaking shoot up a flare and have people come and help you out on these monsters and everything like that. Because it's helpful to other people, right? Monster Hunter is literally a gathering game. You got to gather parts and everything like that. So like helping out other people is also helping you out, right? It gets it done faster and things like that, rather than just doing it by yourself. So it's definitely a few games. What I'm liking so far about this one is like pretty much every Monster Hunter that I played up until this one, the first monster is always that freaking iguana looking freaking guy. It's like starts with a J or whatever. And like you see a lot of the same monsters, especially the early on monsters. So far, the first three big monsters that he fought. Actually, I haven't seen a repeat monster so far in this game. They're all unique monsters. They're all brand new monsters.
I had no idea every Monster Hunter had the same monsters because I've only played the one. I thought they
Yeah,
all were like different monsters.
I played like 3 or 4 of them, and they're pretty much all the freaking iguana monster at the start.
What?
Like they would have different monsters. Like each one would have different monsters, but a majority, especially the earlier on monsters, are all pretty much they were all recycled every time. It wasn't until like
Oh.
you got to the end game that you started seeing the monsters unique to that game. Um, so far this one I fought 3 of
This
them. I've
game,
seen
this game
4.
just came out, right?
It came out today. Today's
Yeah, 'cause I'm
launch
seeing
day.
everybody on Twitch playing it right now.
Yep, today's launch day. And like so far, I'm like, all right, cool, this is cool. So now like I have to learn these 2 different monsters because if I played the iguana, I would have known exactly how to fight the iguana. But the very first monster on this one was a frog with a giant freaking overgrown tongue on it or whatever, and its strategy would like lick up its limbs, put rocks on it or whatever. Like pretty basic monster, still an easy first monster, right? Then the next one was a like an overgrown raptor. It puts secretions on the ground, and then it uses its scales to spark up on the ground and like create an explosion on the ground or whatever. Like all these cool different things. And then I think that for the first time, I'm not a Monster Hunter expert, so people might correct me or whatever. Not that we have a lot of viewers that will do that.
We have
Um,
millions of people watching us right now.
shut your whore mouth. I just saw my
Favorite thing
for
to
the
say,
first.
isn't it?
It absolutely is
It's a
No
talking
faith.
catchphrase.
when I'm talking
No
to a bunch
faith.
of whores. Yeah, catchphrase.
Only on days that
Don't
end
kink
on
shame.
Y.
Don't kink shame.
Yeah. Um, was a spider. It was a spider boss that had his like these poison darts that came out of its butt and everything like that. It was a very interesting boss. But that when I shot up a flare, I got some people. Not that I was losing or anything, but I was like, this this fight's clearly taking me a long time. I wasn't in danger, or whatever. But I shot up a flare. 2 people joined the game, made it that much faster and that much more fun. Because like now it's like we're coordinating. I'm jumping on his back. All these other people are hitting it, and we took out
Does
the boss.
difficulty so does the difficulty or the hit point scale with multiple people or it just makes
Yeah,
it easier?
I think the hit point scale with more people. But even with the hit point scaling, whatever, you have 4 hunters in there, all knowing what the heck they're doing. You're gonna make quick work of it. And once again, like this is only 3 monsters in, right? So these are all easy monsters. The bigger, more difficult ones are gonna be coming later. But and like I said earlier, I know we spoke. I like before the game even launched. You guys had me talking about it, right? Like now there's a mount that you hit, right. So when the monster starts running away, it's like usually you have to freaking start running to different parts of the map, like find where it is. Now you jump on this mount, and the basic mount is self-driven, right? Like you could actually let the mount do the running around for you. You don't have to control the mount, and you're like sharpening up your blade. You're drinking health potions and all that stuff. Like so they made it like really
That's
like
kind of cool.
almost seamless. Where it's like, all right, the mount's gonna take me where I need to go. Let me prep while I'm going. Where like in other Monster Hunter games, like the monster takes off. Okay, like now I'm gonna stay here in one spot, do all the stuff I need to do, and then go after the monster. Now I gotta go find it where the heck it went in the map. Now you call your mount, it's gonna chase the monster for you while you're doing all this other stuff. So like it's making it a lot more fun.
I'm
So
watching
I'm really enjoying it so far.
I'm watching the live stream of Sasha Grey play Monster Hunter, and
Yeah.
they're battling this monster, and it literally falls asleep like while they're attacking it.
Well,
And then
yeah,
they start
there-
whacking it again, and it wakes back up. Like what
yeah.
the fuck?
There's things that you could
The
launch.
horn, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
no.
sleepy. I guess.
No,
I don't
no.
know.
So that's my favorite weapon. There's the hunting horn. The version of that weapon I have can't do the sleeping thing, right? But you can make bullets or bombs or things that could put the monsters to sleep. Absolutely. And then you could get like sneak
Oh, so
attacks.
somebody did a spell. Okay, I
Right,
don't
like,
have
it
audio
didn't-
on, so okay.
It didn't just randomly fall asleep.
It just looked funny watching it without sound, and the
Yeah.
monster just falls asleep right while they're all attacking. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's sleepy. Don't shame it.
Yeah.
So,
You could set
adulting
traps.
is hard, man. He had to get his nap time in there.
You can set traps on the ground. They can fall on traps and like all these different things, depending on the monster. Like I said, I've only experienced a very easy stuff right so far. Right, there's gonna be much harder monsters where I'm gonna have to set down traps. I'm gonna have to set down barrel bombs or whatever because like the bigger the monsters get, they're just gonna, like there's just too much damage that you would have to do without doing all these different traps and contraptions that you would have to use. And it's also interesting playing, especially with other players that you play with, right? Like depending on the like if they're a ranged weapon, they're shooting a ranged weapon, but they're also going to set up the barrels. And then like all the other people are hitting it, and then they stop hitting it, let the guy keep on shooting it. So now the monster's going to direct where the damage is coming from, and they're going to go in like. So it's really fun, cool seeing that coordination.
We're not good teammates like that. I think it would end badly for us.
Because Miguel never listens.
Lord knows how well we play together in COD.
Miguel's gonna find a
me.
freaking radio tower in the Monster Hunter game.
Leroy Jenkins.
Go up there just so he can snipe.
Let me tell you, I
They're
really
bringing the
miss
HDR
those.
back,
I miss
so-
those days. The HDR, yeah.
They're bringing the HDR back for Verdansk, and
I'm not gonna believe anything they say. I just can't trust them. How many times? Fool
I
me
think
40
it's in
times. Shame on
3
me.
weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. I'm gonna watch people play it first. I know what's gonna happen because playing this game and I see the bullets like literally following you through walls because of how trash the engine is right now. Like we're gonna play a few rounds of Verdansk. Like, yeah, this is not the same, and then poof, we're gonna be done.
And also, they're still gonna have the cheating problem because they don't want to put a real anti-cheat. I just don't want to do it.
There's
I
still
don't
people are still
wanna-
complaining about it. Like what like
Yeah.
they don't want to play it anymore. There's not that many people
Hmm.
playing anymore. Like fuck this game. What is this shit?
Mhm.
So we have one last thing on the list.
We do. Twat waffles.
This is for Miguel.
There's a reason it's the last one. The
I was
politics
gonna sign
one.
up for the.
I
men.
honestly thought he would have been farther along with his beers before bringing this up, but here
I
we
haven't had
are.
any beers. I deliberately have not had any beers because tomorrow is beer fest, and so I gotta save the calories.
Yes.
you
Is
know?
that-
tomorrow's
is that
beer
what it
fest,
is?
That's right.
Can't do it 2 nights in a row. But
Tomorrow's
I'm
beer
not gonna
fest.
be. I'm
Why
old
not?
now. I've
Byron, if
couple
you're
beers.
still watching, do you want to go to Beer Fest?
Beer fest. Beer fest. Is Joel going? Never. an
Well,
answer,
you
but
haven't
good.
mentioned anything. Are you even here?
I don't think he's watching.
I don't even know if Byron's still watching or not.
I think
Put F in the
we've
chat
all
so if
seen
you're
the
here.
news. We've all seen the news today. I think we can all agree. Fuck Trump. That's it. That's all we gotta say.
That entire topic line for a one-liner. We've all read the news.
When he
Fuck
says
Trump.
we all agree, and yet a third of the country disagrees. So
A third, more than a third. You won. Well,
a third of the country, yeah, a
Yeah,
third of the
really.
country isn't registered to vote.
or they're too young to vote.
Or
I
they're
just
dead.
listen.
on the
If
inside.
you could have voted for someone else and voted for him, I also say fuck you to you and hope you die as well.
There's
Um,
nothing but love coming from this podcast right now.
I have no more capacity.
By the
for
way, we are
love,
talking
only
about
hate.
the Oval Office shenanigans today between President Trump and President Zelensky. That was I felt like it was like The Apprentice Reloaded or something. Like I was waiting for him to yell at him and say, "You're fired." I was like, "What are we watching?"
Top 10
That
most
was
embarrassing things for this country. Because the fact that some people watch that and were like, man, Trump is so cool. Like, you have to literally have to have a worm eating your brain to think that was like such a cool display. Like, what the fuck?
But
What
those
kind of
same
idiots?
people would say, "Yo, if I had a worm eat my brain, that would be so
a
cool."
fucking worm. A worm, he said, eating the brain.
Is it a regular
Well,
worm? Is it
I
a
don't
gummy
know.
worm? What kind of worm are we talking about here?
Is
though?
this
Whatever
sour?
RFK had eating his brain.
Tequila. It's a tequila worm. Talking about worms. Have you finished your snake whiskey yet?
Finished it. I don't drink it.
All right,
It's
so
just, it's just for show.
bring it with you. So I mean, to the beer fest. Not to bring inside. Let's all go to the parking lot or whatever, and we all have one shot of it.
I
All
thought
right,
he was I thought he was gonna say he was gonna pet your snake in the parking lot.
I will maybe I'll fill up a flask with some, and then I'll just pour out like flask shots.
I
There
mean,
you go.
I want to see the snake. I mean, come on, just bring the fucking bottle.
I'm gonna bring it in a goddamn Uber. I'm not driving there.
I'll be your fucking Uber then. Bring it in my damn freaking car.
How are you driving, motherfucker? What the fuck?
I don't
He's
get.
flying in on his drone. What are you
I'm
talking
not.
about?
I'm not fucking Lewis. I don't get drunk and pass out at fucking beer fest.
Too soon. Too soon.
That was like a decade ago. What do you mean too soon?
I'll be like 65 years old, man, with my walker, and I'll still be like, no, it's too soon. I won't talk about that. I blacked that part of my life out.
Yep.
I still remember Sam talking about that too. He goes, "Yeah, you handed me your cell phone. You just went, bloop."
Is Sam coming tomorrow?
No, he's going to be down in Florida,
Oh,
or
Did
he's
he
down
say-
in Florida now.
with his Corvette.
Maybe, I don't know. I doubt. No, I doubt he took his Corvette down in Florida.
Yeah, he didn't want to see Salt.
Wasn't he supposed to maybe come tomorrow or no? Did I imagine that? I thought that was a
I
topic.
thought he was thinking about it, wasn't he?
No, let's see.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm gonna
Yeah,
need
well,
to drink after
we're
today.
still waiting for you.
Hill's not watching. He's not watching, and he's not
He's
coming
too
tomorrow.
busy. He's too busy.
He's too busy feeding his kids after 12 like gremlins.
Let's see if
Damn crotch
Sam's coming
goblins.
now.
Alrighty then.
All right, well,
I guess we're gonna have a wow. This is
what
like
was your opinion? What was your opinion today, Lewis? I'm curious because we all know my opinions on these things. I think that if there were to be, an explosion at the White House, I would probably laugh.
So Sam just made a comment a little while ago.
Oh Jesus Christ! You still watch these things? Oh, and not
No, not to the podcast. He said rewatching the. I see Dave's responding. Rewatching the Zelensky Oval Office visit, it started so well until JD opened his little whore mouth.
See? Shut your whore mouth.
What
See?
is it
It's
with the cousins and saying shut your whore mouth?
It's catching on.
JD Vance is so pathetic. He's like the big bully's like bullying. He's like, yeah, you get him, And the fact that he said literally like
he should not have opened his mouth. Like he was just pouring gasoline on the fire during all.
Well, on purpose though. On purpose.
That whole charade was just there to sandbag him, which was it was just pathetic. It really was.
Well, basically he's like that's not true. This is what happened, and he's like, well, it's disrespectful to come here and litigate this in front of the American public. He's like, it's disrespectful for him to say you're lying and show you how you're lying. That's what these people operate on.
But
so
JD
annoying.
said we're being diplomatic. We're bringing diplomacy here, which is something Biden didn't do, and yet no president in the history of the United States has ever done that on live TV to a president of another country. Where is their diplomacy of what happened today? There was none. Zero. None.
No.
I think Miguel said it because Trump's not a fucking politician.
No, he's a moron.
Not a politician.
Yeah,
He's
but
shitting
JD's
himself
talking
moron.
about diplomacy. He's the VP.
But the thing is, like, their words mean nothing. Their words mean nothing. They're just.
But that's the
blabbing and
scapegoat,
that's it.
right? Every single time when you call them out in their bullshit, they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, Trump's not a politician." Well, which is it? Are you the president? Or you're not the president. I mean, you
He's
can't
not a
have it
normal
both ways.
politician. Listen, he's not. He's their king. They worship him. He's their god. Their freaking Daddy Trump, whatever the fuck they call him. It's
He
pathetic.
can't be a god because he can bleed. We saw that.
Oh my God.
Gods can't bleed.
Oh my God. Our podcast getting fucking banned. We're fucking gonna get swatted now. You fucking dumb fuck. What
Quick,
the fuck?
do the soundboard. Boom, boom, boom.
Jesus
FBI, open
Christ.
up!
Jesus Christ.
He's not a machine.
It's not even real. He's just a machine. He's probably a Terminator sent back in time to kill us all.
Man, that would be some terrible. That means our future went really bad if that's the robots we're sending back. The crackhead ass sitting there fucking pants robots.
They're just here to
robots?
test us. That's the whole
my
purpose of this whole timeline
We
that's going
still,
on right now.
we still can't get the skin right in these robots. They keep getting this orange weird.
Jesus Christ. All right, it was a pleasure knowing everybody. The podcast was fun while it lasted.
This is gonna be our last podcast after tonight. After all this, it was fun while it lasted. We can't even remember what podcast number it is, so I guess it's for the best.
Like I said, end of the country, end of the podcast. It goes out together. You know?
We're not there yet. I said this the last time. We're not quite there yet. We're heading there, but we're not there yet. I think things will get a lot worse before they get
Listen,
better.
I'm sure Comrade Trump will do very well under Putin's direction. You know, he's
Wait,
done so well.
is Sam coming? He said he bought the ticket,
Did he?
so he is coming.
Why am I getting? Listen to this fake news from
He
over here. in
literally just said
Pennsylvania.
yes.
So,
And then Lewis said, "Is he coming?" Sam said yes to the question. Then Lewis follows up.
but he said,
"Is Sam coming?"
But he says it because it will be too late. So,
First of all, I thought he was gonna be in Florida.
No,
you guys gotta
he's
get your
saying-
stories
yeah, is
straight.
he in
That's-
Florida or is he coming?
Oh
Which is
my
it?
God! Just read what the fuck he's saying. He's saying that he wants to get dinner first because after Beer Fest it'll be too late to get dinner. Like, wait, why the fuck is this confusing?
It's very.
confusing.
It's,
I thought it was gonna be in
everything that
Florida.
Sam
I'm
says is
confused.
confusing to me. So I have to ask twice, unfortunately. Ed's responding. We need to find a spot. Where are we pre-gaming?
Pre-gaming, Jesus Christ.
Pre-gaming.
Pre-gaming for a beer fest, not needed.
Don't say that
Sammy-
location.
Sammy, of course, wants to eat for like we're gonna eat there, man. How like seriously, how early are we gonna eat? He starts at goddamn.
I think it's time for us to end the podcast
All right.
It's over
Yeah,
because
tonight.
it's only downhill from here. So I think we're gonna call it. This is probably one of our shortest podcasts. And I say
wanna
that
s-
I think it's enough.
It's an hour and
Thank
40
you.
minutes.
Thank you. This was the perfect fucking podcast.
The perfect length is
fuckers.
whenever we're done talking. That's
No,
the perfect.
Yes.
No. You guys drag shit on for
Don't
no
disappear, by
goddamn
the way,
reason.
Dave. I want to talk about tomorrow after we sign off.
All right.
Just
Thank
send
you
the- send
everybody
the
for
stream.
watching. Thank you for the people that I shared the stream with, that you guys actually watched it and stayed on and watching, not
I
like
will
watching for 5
share-
minutes.
Next time.
I really truly appreciate it. Hopefully you come and watch it again next week.
We will see you guys 9
Tell your friends.
p.m.
Tell
9
your
p.m.
friends. Tell your
Next
Smash that
friends.
Friday.
like button.
We're so fucked.
All right.
Peace out.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.